Guys, what is going on? Welcome to a special video that I wanted to do in honor of Chris Jericho. His run from 2016 to 2017 just ended a couple weeks ago. I thought was absolutely one of his best. And in this video, I came up with a list. Not the list, but a list that in my opinion, for me, were my top 10 favorite moments from Chris Jericho's 2016-17 run in WWE, which arguably was one of his best. Jericho had a late career renaissance. I mean, I knew it was going to be good having him back. I didn't know how long he was going to stick around for, but when he returned, January 4th, 2016, with the ups and downs, you know, his feud with AJ Styles, that was really good, helped put AJ on the map, turned heel, felt was the right move to do. And then, you know, enjoyable feud with Dean Ambrose, and then, you know, eventually you work your way to the partnership with Kevin Owens. Jericho produced so many great moments throughout the fall and was really the focal point, really one of the only reasons to watch Raw at that time. And then the Friendship, Festival of Friendship, great moment there, that'll of course be on this list. And then rounding out his feud with Kevin Owens, which is something that I wanted to see, and help put Owens on another level, you know. It was just, Jericho accomplished so much in this latest run. Got to work with a variety of opponents, whether it was Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Enzo and Cass, AJ Styles, like I said. So we're going to kick this list off. We're going to go from number 10 all the way up to number 1. So without further ado, I give you the list of top 10 moments in Jericho's latest run with WWE. And we start off with number 10. I thought this was a subtle moment in a really awesome main event on Raw. It was Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. And in this match, Jericho was banned from ringside. But you knew that wasn't going to stop the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla from getting involved in this match. So what would Jericho do to interfere? He had a Sin Cara mask on, and that led to Seth Rollins getting the win, or excuse me, Kevin Owens picking up the win. So really great subtle stuff from Chris Jericho here. In the week after, he said that wasn't Chris Jericho in a Sin Cara mask, that was Sin Cara in a Chris Jericho mask. Because there were reports that Jericho and Sin Cara had a heated backstage altercation around that time, so I thought it was subtle. It's just a subtle little thing that Jericho did to get a laugh out of me, and that's why it's number 10 on my list. Number 9. Jericho, for the first time, would win the United States Championship on the January 9th, 2017 edition from Raw. It was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho in a handicap match, I believe. You know, at this point, we had been seeing this match ad nauseum, but it didn't take away from the fact that Jericho had finally picked up a title that had evaded him for so long, and eventually, you know, would feud with Kevin Owens after this, heading into WrestleMania for the United States Championship. So it was nice to see Jericho finally pick up that one title that throughout his entire career he has never held, and now Jericho has held all the titles in WWE. So he truly has now done it all. So that's why it's number 9 on my list. Number 8 is when those 69 thumbtacks went into the back of Jericho. And at that Asylum match at Extreme Rules 2016. That's the one thing that I remember about that match. And it was a nice spot. And Jericho, you know, sold it like a pro. I mean, how can you not when you have 69 thumbtacks going into your back? And I like the fact that still to this day, a couple weeks ago on Raw, when he interacted with Dean Ambrose, he brought up the fact that you put 69 thumbtacks into my back, and it's just something that Jericho will never, ever let Dean Ambrose forget. So that's why it is number 8 on my list of top 10 moments. Moving on here, again, I enjoyed the feud between Jericho and Ambrose. Thought their matches were good, not the greatest, but there were a lot of good moments that came out of this feud. From the Asylum match, to the Thumbtacks, to my number 7 moment here. On the May 9th, 2016 edition of Raw, when it looked like it was going to be Chris Jericho versus Big Cass. Dean Ambrose would assault Chris Jericho, get in his light-up jacket, make his way to the ring, and reveal that it was Dean Ambrose in the jacket the whole time, and he would destroy Chris Jericho's light-up jacket, and sending Jericho into a fit of rage. Jericho, just the way he was over the top about the whole thing. It was $15,000, you stupid idiot. And Dean's ripping up the jacket, and Jericho, it's just his $15,000 jacket, folks. I couldn't believe it. He destroyed a man's property, Dean Ambrose. He should be in jail right now. It was just a really, really funny moment, and saying the jacket was $15,000 just added to it. So I had to put that at number 7 on my list. Number 6 on my list is the return of Chris Jericho on the January 4th, 2016 edition of Raw. Went back to watch some of this. The dialogue was corny and campy, but Jericho returning was a surprise, and I liked the way that they did it due to the fact that the New Day were going to have a countdown on the Jumbotron, 10, 9, 8, then eventually it transitioned into Jericho's music. He came out, cut a promo against the New Day. It was great to have Jericho back, and this was the start, the genesis, the beginning of his 2016 run, which would extend all the way until May of this year. So this was the beginning of it all, and it led to bigger and better things down the line. But I had to have this one, number 6, on my list. Moving on to number 5 here. I feel this is a very underrated match. Not one that gets talked about a lot, but I thought this was one of the best Tag Team Championships matches of the year. One of the best matches of the year. It was from Raw in Chicago, March 7th, 2016. Y2 AJ taking on the New Day. Phenomenal tag team match. And after the match, this would lead to the heel turn on Chris Jericho to AJ Styles, and where he would eventually, in another really good segment, where Jericho burned the shirt of AJ Styles in a trash can, and very underrated segment right there. I feel like a lot of people talk about it, or this match. Got a lot out of this match, great near falls, just a great tag team championship match. Probably my 3rd favorite of the year, if I honestly go back and look at 2016. The 2 Revival DIY matches are 1, 2, but this could certainly hold a candle at number 3. If you have not seen this match, if you're looking for an underrated gem, go back and watch Y2 AJ, Chris Jericho, and AJ Styles take on the New Day for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And another great match from Jericho's run was this Fatal 4-Way to determine the new number 1 contender for the WWE Championship. Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles versus Cesaro versus Kevin Owens. On the Raw after WrestleMania, these guys went in there and they tore it up. This is, of course, where AJ Styles became the number 1 contender and had 2 really great matches at the next 2 pay-per-views against Roman Reigns. But Jericho, Owens, Styles, Cesaro making his surprise return. And this being the Raw after WrestleMania made for a special moment, great atmosphere, and honestly, this was better than most of what we got at WrestleMania 32. This was an outstanding match, pay-per-view quality, and we got it for free on Raw. So, no complaints there. Definitely a match I want to go back and watch when I have the time. That's why it is number 4 on my list. And we move into the top 3, folks. Number 3, that highlight reel from the November 21st, 2016 edition of Raw, when it looked like Jericho and Owens, you didn't know when the split was going to happen, but you knew eventually down the line it was going to happen. And we all thought this might be the moment here. SmackDown Live, Team SmackDown Live, they won its Survivor Series. And Jericho and Owens were kind of the co-captains of Team Raw. So you knew maybe, due to the fact that they lost, an implosion was imminent. And the ruse was on all of us because we were thinking this is it. This is where Jericho and Owens are going to turn on each other. And on the highlight reel, they revealed it was all a ruse. And, they fooled the entire audience, including me watching. I thought it was a great moment. Go back and check out this highlight reel. Just great stuff from Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. And this would eventually lead to the main event later on in the night between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship, and that's where Jericho got involved wearing the Sin Cara mask. So, really great highlight reel. One of the best highlight reels in a while. That's why it is number 3 on my list. Moving on to number 2. The day that will live in infamy. September the 19th, 2016, on Raw, is where it was born. It was where the list of Jericho was created. And the world has never been the same again, as Chris Jericho would say. The birth of the list, Chris Jericho was able to get a list over and a pen. It's incredible. Who would have thought? But only Jericho, because he is the GOAT, he is the 61-minute man. So that is a day that you should all mark on your calendars. And come September the 19th, 2017, I promise you I'll do a special video on this channel to celebrate the birthday of the list. Who knows, maybe I'll even sing happy birthday to the list. The list of Jericho. It's endless, man. And number one, you kind of figured what number one was going to be. I was saving the best for last, but the Festival of Friendship segment from Raw. Honestly, the best segment on Raw all year. February 13th, 2017, when the split of Jericho and Kevin Owens happened. Really emotional, you know, a segment that was funny, laughs, and, you know, got real and personal. And then when Kevin Owens gave Chris Jericho the list of KO, and Jericho's like, wait, why is my name on this list? And then Owens attacked and betrayed his quote-unquote best friend. And we saw the true side of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens that we wanted to see as Universal Champion. Sadly, we only got it to the end of his reign, towards the end of his reign. But it was so great to see. And this was one of the best moments on Raw all year. It will be up there as one of the best segments of the year. And that's why it is number one on my list. Top moments from Chris Jericho's WWE run. So that is it for my top 10 moments, guys. I wanted to do this video, you know, just a way to highlight some of the great moments that I enjoyed from Chris Jericho's run. Let me know what your top 10 moments were from Chris Jericho's 2016-17 WWE run. We get some dialogue discussion going, so you can leave your moments down below in the comments section. I look forward to reading those comments. So that is it, guys, for this video. Thank you all for watching. Remember to please click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel. And be on the lookout for me in my next video, whenever that may be. So until then, guys, thanks for watching. Take care.